honorable speakers and deputy speakers here present, honorable ministers and deputy ministers here present, honorable chairpersons and deputy chairpersons, honorable members of parliament here present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to share with you on the topic legislative performance living to expectations. It is my great honor and privilege to be part of this historic conference where we gather and exchange ideas on strengthening legislative performance and effectiveness. Legislative performance of the institution of parliament is critical in meeting citizens' expectations and fulfilling the ethos of good governance, democracy, economic development, and protecting human rights. Parliament of Zimbabwe legislators, as is the case with other parliamentarians, have employed various approaches and strategies to improve their performance. Let me begin by noting that the 1997 parliamentary reforms undertaken by the Parliament of Zimbabwe managed to change the face of Parliament and enhance its effectiveness. Prior to the reforms, Parliament was perceived as being ineffective in the discharge of its constitutional mandate of making laws for the peace, order and good governance of the country. Parliament was viewed as a mere rubber stamp institution lacking the capacity to hold the executive to account for its actions. Therefore, the reforms opened up Parliament to the people, especially the creation of parliamentary constituents information centers, where people get information about their member of parliament and parliament information. Additionally, among others, the parliament committee meetings were also opened to the members of the public, while live coverage of parliament and committee business or proceedings was also made mandatory. Hence, today, our national television, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, live stream question time every Wednesday and Thursday, while Parliament, through its Twitter and Facebook handle, provide live coverages of some parliamentary activities. On the other hand, Parliament, being the owner of the purse, plays a pivotal role in ensuring that every year the national budget that is passed is pro-poor, gender and child sensitive. In order to achieve this, the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Section 141, provides an opportunity for Parliament to involve the members of the public in its legislative processes. Section 28, subsection 5 of the Public Finance Management Act further mandates the appropriate portfolio committee to conduct public hearings to elicit the opinions of as many stakeholders in the national annual budget as possible. These provisions have managed to bring Parliament to the people as more and more people, including the children and women, are being involved in parliamentary consultations to give insights to issues that concern them. Further to these consultative processes, the budget scrutiny process in Parliament is underpinned by principles of budget efficiency, effectiveness, equity, and adequacy of past spending. The main purpose is to address budget distribution inefficiencies where most of the poor will remain vulnerable and without access to the surface nests. For instance, legislators were concerned that the impact of COVID-19 could result in aggravating child deprivation. In fact, it was noted that only 25% of children in rural households continued learning on virtual platforms, compared to 70% of urban households during lockdown period. In order to address the cross-cutting challenges relating to gender discrimination and inequalities, Parliament established the Zimbabwe Women Parliamentary Caucus in 2001. The overall aim was to improve female parliamentarian visibility and address women's concerns in Parliament across party lines. Since the creation of the Zimbabwe Women Parliamentary Caucus, progressive gender-sensitive laws have been passed, including the Criminal Law Act 2006, Domestic Violence Act 2007, the Sexual Offences Act 2001, and recently the Marriage Act in 2022, which outlawed child marriages. In addition, the he for she champions were introduced, which involve male parliamentarians being champions in combating gender inequality in all its manifestations. All the parliamentary committee chairpersons are gender equality champions. One other strategy that has enhanced the performance of Parliament is the introduction of Constituency Development Fund. The fund is allocated to each constituency, and it has been impactful in assisting parliamentarians to directly contribute towards improving healthcare and education service delivery and the reduction of levels of poverty in constituencies. In order to amplify the voices of some other vulnerable groups, the Zimbabwe parliamentarians have formed parliamentary caucuses such as the Parliamentary Caucus on Child Rights, Caucus on Disability, Parliamentarians Against Corruption, Youth Caucus, among others. These caucuses have played a pivotal role in amplifying the voice of the vulnerable groups represented and ensure that parliamentary debates mainstream such issues. In line with its mandate, Parliament of Zimbabwe has become more open and outward-facing through strengthening its internal systems through the use of ICT. During COVID-19, the adoption of virtual platforms allowed Parliament committees to host meetings and enabled legislators to hold the government to account during the coronavirus crisis. Going forward, this development has transformed the work of Parliament and has become part of the package of measures to assist parliamentarians to fully represent the electorate from their remote locations. Physical attendance of Parliament sessions is no longer the only way to conduct business. In addition, parliamentarians through social media networking and citizens' participation on e-platforms are able to receive communication and feedback from 210 constituencies dotted in all the 10 provinces. I thank you for listening. Thank you very much.